Okay, so you start by getting yourself some kind of thin linen-like white material or off-white material. I'm doing this on a small scale so you can see how to fold it, but basically you fold it down, and then you fold it over to the right. So the material ends up double folded, and you'll be cutting it from the sleeve down. Okay, so now into full scale, lay down on your folded piece of material with your wrist at the edge of it, and then mark off about an inch in front of where your armpit is. And then over on the side, you want to go down 13 inches. You're just going to cut it off at a diagonal up to where the armpit measurement is. You want to make sure that you left a lot of extra room in the armpit because you want this to be loose. And then you'll cut down at an angle, widening the farther down you go. And if you're doing the short version of the tunic, you want to cut it off at your mid-thigh. Otherwise, go all the way to the ground if you're doing the Alec Guinness version of Obi-Wan. So this is what you should have so far. Shorter if you're doing the short version. And then you'll cut all the way up the center, just the top layer, all the way up the center to the top of the robe. And then cut 3 inches over on each side of that center cut. And so here you can see that I've only cut the top layer. And so then at the edge of that cut, just the top layer again, you're going to cut down to the center cut. And you want to hit the center cut just above your waistline. And then use that piece of material you just cut to cut an identical piece off of the other side. And so here's what that cut looks like. And so then on the back layer, on the bottom layer, cut down an inch. And then you're just going to cut a dip on either side of that to use as the back neck hole. And then you're just going to sew the open sides together from the bottom of the sleeve all the way down to the bottom of your tunic, however long that is. You're going to do that on both sides of the robe. And then you want to hem the sleeves under an inch. And then for the lapels, get yourself a piece of material that's 4 inches wide. And you're just going to fold it around the front and back side of the lapel, of each lapel. And then you're just going to sew along the outer line. You want to do it all the way around, from the ground right around the neck all the way up on both sides. So here's what that looks like. The front and back. And so then if you're doing the Ewan Mcgregor version, he has tucks in his shoulders, so you just want to push the fabric, the left shoulder here, push the fabric under an inch and hot glue that in place to get the Obi-Wan shoulder tuck that he had in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith. So then for the cross pieces, you're just going to take a piece of material about 7 inches wide, and you want it to be long enough to go from your mid-thigh on both the front and back sides of the tunic to be able to loop up over the shoulder. And then you'll take another piece of material even wider than those to use as the belt. You want it to be really wide because it's supposed to be kind of scrunched up. It doesn't lay flat the way the shoulder crosses do. And that'll go right around the center. And then you just want to hem all those pieces under about 1/2 inch. So for the belt piece, you're going to put some sticky back velcro on the outside of the belt, on the very end. And then you're going to put the matching velcro on the underside of the other end of the belt. And then you'll just finish it by taking an old belt and going around it when you're actually wearing it. And then for the final part, just get an old brown turtleneck to wear underneath it. And then here we have the finished Jedi tunic. And again, if you're doing one of the other Jedi, just cut the skirt off shorter.